What happened in the Garden of Eden? Part 1. Why did God create Adam and Eve and all of us? As we consider the answer to this question, we can look on the internet to see what most people are saying. A quick search shows that most people give one of the following 5 reasons. First, since God had been all alone for eternity, he wanted someone to love him. Second, so there would be someone who knew he existed. He wanted to be acknowledged. The third reason people suggest is to bring glory or renown to himself. Fourth, to prove his sovereignty. And fifth and last, he wanted praise or worship. To Latter-day Saints, each of these 5 purposes seems to imply God needs something or is in want of something. But we ask, how can God be God and be in need of anything? Everything is already his. Moreover, these 5 motivations seem self-interested and very human to us. Instead, Latter-day Saints believe God is love. So our understanding of the purpose of our creation is different from many. We ask, since God is God, what could a being who already has everything possibly hope for? He does not need anything, and everything is already his, so what is the only thing left for him to desire? To share all that he has and is. That would be at the very heart of a being known as the supreme epitome of love itself. So, Latter-day Saints believe God's underlying purpose was to share everything he has and is, and to do something for others they could not do for themselves out of love. That's why we see Jesus Christ as the foremost example both of what that kind of sharing means and what God envisioned for our eventual eternal destiny. What kind of people did God put in the Garden of Eden? Average people or the very best people he could? God never does sloppy work. So he put the very best people he could in the Garden of Eden, and they were very good. Therefore, our choices would not have been any better than Adam and Eve's. In fact, all of us surely would have chosen much more poorly. Then why did God plan ahead for the fall? Did God set Adam and Eve up to fail? God always does his best. Nevertheless, Adam and Eve needed independence and the ability to make their own decisions in order to become and receive what he ultimately intended. Furthermore, since God knew they would not have any experience making choices for themselves, he also knew they would most certainly make mistakes because they were not perfect. So, just as you would expect, he planned ahead for that eventuality as part of his creative process. That is why God says they were very good, not perfect. They still needed to learn how to make certain kinds of decisions, which requires experience, not programming. So God did not set Adam and Eve or us up to fail, but he also knew we could succeed only with his help. He would teach us how to use our free agency so that eventually we could have the ability to always make the right choices without fail and for all eternity. However, in order for us to succeed, now we need to realize it is necessary for us to have a perfect teacher. And since God is the only one who is perfect, that means we need to recognize His perfection, then use the free agency He gave us to choose Him as our leader, as the one we will completely rely on. That is, if we too want the perfection and fullness of joy He is offering us. So that is the decision we all must make. Now let's find out why God needed to use a tree to give us free agency. Click the right video to find out.